Audio Jungle.
It is January 1, the year 2022, Tuesday. Good day and Happy New Year. This is Juan Sado and you are watching TBC, Trinitas Broadcasting Company, your true and faithful reliance. The life of Beethoven begins to come into view as we, the students of grade 9, have gotten through the history of classical music. Ludwig van Beethoven was born in 1770 in Bonn, Germany, as the son of a court musician. His talent for the piano soon appeared, and he gave his first public performance at the age of 8. Beethoven's father wanted to promote him as the next child prodigy, another Mozart. Nevertheless, Beethoven was employed as a court musician in Bonn from 1787, and during this time, he studied briefly under both Haydn and Mozart. It turns out that events in Beethoven's life greatly affected his writing because Beethoven's musical output is very episodic. As we shall see, there are three main periods in Beethoven's life, known simply as the early, middle, and late periods. In 1792, Beethoven relocated to Vienna. It is the beginning of his early period, which lasted roughly until 1800. At that time, Beethoven quickly made a name for himself as a virtuoso pianist. He used his abilities at the piano to gain favor with the nobility. Beethoven's hearing was also beginning to deteriorate at this point. However, he went to great lengths to hide this fact from those around him. Yet, in 1800, Beethoven is reported to have turned his friend Kramfels. Beethoven abandoned the classical forms of the previous century and set out for a more expressive musical voice. His musical imagination began to grow beyond that of the piano. This period, which later became known as the heroic period, because of the larger-than-life nature that his compositions took on, saw the creations of such masterpieces. In 1809, however, his musical output began to drop, possibly in connection to his declining health and mental state. Around 1815, the famous Immortal Beloved affair occurred, leaving Beethoven in deep depression and contemplating suicide. Although there has been much debate over the identity of this immortal beloved character, it ended up that the lucky woman was Josephine, Countess Dame, nee Countess von Brunswick. Most of Beethoven's output was invalid until 1818. At this point, he was completely deaf and slightly mad. Also, his brother died, leaving Beethoven's only nephew, Karl, in the guardianship of his mother. Now, Beethoven felt that it was not enough to raise Karl, so he entered into a vicious lawsuit over custody of the child. For the most part, he used his influence on the aristocracy to win the battle. Unfortunately, Beethoven was not a fit father, and his relationship with Karl was utterly poor, driving him to a suicide attempt a few years later. Beethoven loved Karl dearly, and the pain of his failed attempts to teach Karl music must have been devastating for Beethoven. It is often speculated that Karl was probably a contributor to Beethoven's late style. The late period saw the compositions of Beethoven's broadest works, the Mass in D, Op. 123, the Ninth Symphony, Op. 125, the Hammer-Clavier Sonata, Op. 106, and the late string quartets. Unfortunately, Beethoven died on March 26, 1827, at 56, of post-hepatic cirrhosis of the liver. Thank you for watching. Again, this is Juan Soto, your reporter for today, with TBC, Trinitas Broadcasting Company, your true and faithful reliance.